everyone, welcome back. This is Vanquish, and we are now hosting from the SASAPD channel on YouTube. Make sure that you search for it, you find it, you like, and you subscribe. And also, please don't be shy to share the videos that we're going to be posting on the YouTube channel, the SASAPD. My name is Samkelo. This is 2021, and on the other side, I have got Kerwin Noemdo, and yeah. Kevin looks like a lot of human being looking at that beard, and when I saw his hair as well, it was a bit of a shock. But anyway, Kevin, how are you, Chief?
I'm good on yourself, Samkelo.
Yeah, look, just so that maybe people don't think that I'm losing my mind or I'm exaggerating, can you just please show the viewers how awesome your hair looks like?
They're probably gonna run away after this, but
oh, yeah. You know what? Just you can keep the cap on. Fine. Let's try and not lose the viewers here and not scare any kids at home. Already you don't have an arm, so let's not make it worse, all right? Anyway, Kevin, you are a one-armed man. Just like I've mentioned, where's the rest of YouTube? Yeah, is this a high five or
a high one?
High one. So anyway, what happened to that arm of yours?
So while I was in my mom's womb, the umbilical cord wrapped around my wrist. So I was born with a smaller deformed right hand, which after a couple of months after birth, the doctors decided it would be best to amputate it because it wasn't really functional. So yeah, so it's all I can remember, it's all I know, and for me it feels completely normal.
Yeah, but you see, Kevin, right here is the problem. When you are there trying to be an athlete inside your mother, you're trying to throw things and you're wrapping yourself now in umbilical cords. You should have just been a normal kid and I think sucked your thumbs, but you were busy there short putting and javelining inside your mom. Chief.
Yeah, I think I couldn't contain myself. I've always wanted to be active, so it was probably happening from inside the stomach already.
So how was that life then, growing up with one arm? Because this is your normal. It's not like the new normal we live now. This is all you've ever known. How was that life growing up?
I must say, from my family's point of view, or from their side, they treated me completely normally. There was no favoritism, or no, he can't do this, he can't do that. I was just left alone to be myself. And so the way I was brought up, I didn't feel like there was anything wrong with me, or anything different. But obviously, when you go to preschool and you start going to school, you get the odd stare, the odd question, and then you realize, okay, wait, maybe there is something different with me. But yeah, growing up, I think because I was involved with sports from the get-go, I think I fitted in quite easily.
Yeah. So tell us about your involvement then in sports from a young age. What sort of sporting codes did you do in school?
Yeah, so in primary school, I tried my hand at everything, excuse the pun. I played rugby, cricket, soccer, did swimming as well. And at the time, a bit of athletics, but not so much. And then on high school, I played rugby until matric, and I did my athletics in the summer. It was only after school when I really focused on my athletics.
Just briefly explain the cricket part of it. I can see you bowling, but like, how does the batting work?
Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to explain. I would have my complete hand. I would bat left, so I'd have my left hand at the bottom of the handle, and then my stump on the top, just for a bit of control. But I was mainly a bowler. I wasn't really a batsman specialist. I was a bowling specialist. So because I would bat left and my left arm is the the underhand, I tend to always scoop it up, and I always got caught because I'm
Yeah,
trying to hit everything up and over everyone.
yeah, of course. No, you get caught. And the rugby, I mean, I can imagine maybe the ball being big, it does help. But the fact that you went with it all the way until trick, that experience, how was that? And the treatment as well from the other players and I suppose people watching those games. How did you find that?
Yeah, so that's always been my rugby's always been my first love. I I would probably argue that I'm much more talented in rugby than I am in athletics. But that once again comes from my family. It's in my blood, in my genes. Um, on primary school, it wasn't the public perception wasn't too evident, but especially moving to high school, the skepticism was there from the coaches, the fellow players, um, and I remember vaguely when I was grade 8 when I went to Paul was one of the guys asked my friend. They didn't ask me directly. They asked one of my friends who came from the same primary school. They asked him how does he play rugby, and all the guy said was just wait and see. And then we ended up
Yeah.
playing in the same team together for many years, and we became very good mates. Um, but yeah, and from opponents, it's always funny. Once they see me on the field and they see, okay, you're playing fullback, the first thing they'll do is they'll try to kick on me. Probably the
Yeah.
first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, they'll try to kick everything to me, and then they realize I'm not dropping any balls, and I'm
So
either
yeah.
running it back or kicking it back, and then they just stop. So, but yeah, it was lovely. It was amazing. I would give anything to play another game for Paul Ross. And yeah, I just enjoyed it. It was that brotherhood you get from a rugby team is second to none.
Wow. So how did you end up then with disability sports? Because I mean, you had your international event at a very young age. So at what point did you then transition from your first love to, I suppose, meeting people like me who are not your first love, but okay, I'll live.
Yeah, so I was actually approached by Miss Zelda Hansen in primary school. And she approached me at one inter-house event and then she said, you must come try out parasport. And obviously I was hesitant at first because I'm like, what is parasport? I'm playing my rugby, I'm playing my cricket, I'm doing my cricket at school. What is this thing you talk about? And then actually in grade 8, I had my first nationals in Stellenbosch. And then my eyes were actually opened. Like I did not know this world exists. Um, so I was a bit hesitant at first, couple of years, still in two minds, and then as the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it, and realizing, there's more people out there like me, and I found a second home, you can say, in the parasport world.
Yeah, your second
Um,
love.
yeah,
Yes,
and then
yes. Rather than Kevin, your second love.
and then I fell in love with it, and then I realized that I can actually represent my country in something, and that's something I always wanted to do as a sportsman, and that's where the love grew.
Tell me, Kevin, I mean, a lot of the athletes that I've spoken to will tell you that they only became aware of parasport at a much later age. They didn't even know it existed. Do you think that's a good thing? Is it because you are not exposed to disability issues? Is it because you are treated as normal, therefore you see no disability? Like how do you end up not knowing so much about such a big part of who you are?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good thing. I think we definitely need more exposure. We need more people talking about parasport, because maybe for me I was fine being own in my own world, but maybe there's a disabled kid somewhere out there who's looking for that sense of belonging and sense of home and love. So I definitely think it's not a good thing. We need more exposure. I mean, we need all our para athletes to become household names, because if people, like you touched on, if people don't see your disability, they also don't see your struggles you face every day. Um, so that is, it's definitely something we need to change in this country.
Yeah. Your first international competition, take me through that experience, because now you've found your second love, your second home, but it is actually taking you places that your first love has never taken you. How was that experience?
I was in grade 11. I was 17 years old. I remember, I remember picking up my South African dog bag from our club and being so excited that I'm getting my first green and gold kit. And I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna travel to the UAE in Sharjah. Um, so it was. I was a bit nervous at first, being so young and being amongst Paralympians and other senior guys. Um, I think that's why I was pretty much in my shell for that tournament. But it was a nice eye opener, and just that's like you said, that's when I realized this thing can take me places, and I can show the world what I can do. So it was nerve-wracking but exciting at the same time.
Those were, I think it was the Iowa's Games, which is the International Wheelchair and Amputee Sports Games. And then you make it to World Championships, which is big. That's a big deal. How was that experience?
So in 2013, I made it to World Champs. But once again, I think I didn't realize the stage that I'm actually competing at, because I just went out there, did my thing. Wasn't happy with my performance, that I can remember. but it didn't sink in until afterwards, when I realized that there were so many countries there. I was competing against other people from other countries in the world. They're like, I'm the only one in my classification representing my country. Um, and then I was like, whoa, actually need to appreciate this, and give it my everything. Um, yeah, and that's after that is when it got extremely serious, and trying to still to this day is trying to make my impact on the para sports world.
Right. I'm glad it took World Championships for you to realize that it's a big deal. It's massive. So now that you decided to take your second love seriously, and now that you've actually seen that essentially being at World Championships, you are there with the best in the world in your class. How did that change your mind, your mindset, and also how did it influence future results going forward?
From that moment, as the person I am, I immediately set the next goal, and the next goal was, okay, I need to make it to Paralympic Games. That's the next big thing. Um, so my mind was set on trying to make it to the Rio Games in 2016. But unfortunately, they didn't have shot put or discus in my category. They only had javelin. Um,
Mm.
so I dabbled in javelin for a year and a half, until my body realized, you're not a javelin thrower. It's not for everyone. My groin went, my shoulder went, my back went. I'm like, okay, this is not for you. Focus on the shot put and discus, and wait your turn. So it was a long waiting game, until 2017's World Champs again in London, that was probably the biggest fans, or the most fans I've ever seen in a stadium. That was ridiculous, but it was nice.
Yeah, look, the people in the UK really love their disability sports. I've really witnessed this. I've witnessed it, and it's quite unbelievable. They love parasport. So, this is a genuine problem that I've realized with various other classes, where you are a specialist in one particular sporting code, and then at the Paralympics, they decide, nah, people with no hands are just better at running and maybe doing long jump, not other things. And that has a negative impact. I know, for instance, Ntando Mahlangu, who's actually very good over the 800 meters, but they don't have that at the Paralympics. So do you know if at the Tokyo Paralympics, if they've got your event for your particular class?
We had to wait until after, I think it was after the 2017 World Champs. The list for Tokyo came out, the events list for Tokyo came out. And then we found out that they do have shot put. There's no discus, but they at least have shot put. And then the shift changed actually from moving from discus to shot put athlete. So luckily, I am a fully focused shot put athlete at the moment, and we do have shot put in my category, in my class. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a very competitive class. I'm looking forward to it.
How do you think you're gonna perform at the Paralympics? Again, at least you've got some fingers, but yeah, you can cross your fingers. I'll cross my toes. But how do you think you're gonna do at this year's Paralympics, especially being such a competitive class?
I know I'm gonna do pretty well. I think I'm gonna shock a few people. There's a handful of people who know what shape I'm in and what I'm currently throwing. But yeah, without giving too much away, I think I'm gonna do pretty well. The goal has always been to bring back a medal. That's the goal. So irrespective of the color, I'm going there to bring back some hardware for the country.
This is awesome. I'm genuinely looking forward to that, and this channel will be going on, and we're going to be having these discussions even afterwards. So lastly, a little Kevin out there somewhere in South Africa or the world for that matter watching this message or this video, how will you motivate that kid? You know, maybe they don't have the type of family that you had that says that we're going to treat you normal. You know, they probably come from a society where being disabled is looked at like a curse. This kid has got dreams, but they just don't believe it's possible for them. What would you say to that young Kevin?
Number one, being normal is overrated. Number
two. You know what? You can say that again. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so number one, being normal is overrated. Number two, you're not alone in this space. And number three, don't let anyone else discourage you from your dreams. Only you can decide what your dreams are and what you want to achieve. And if you believe it 100%, no one can stop you. And don't let anyone get in your way, because what your mind can believe, the body can achieve.
As simple as that. Buddy, thank you so much for your time. All the best with the training. I see the things you do there in the gym with your squats and your weights and, just playing around. Sometimes I don't even know if you are actually training or you just enjoy the attention of people watching an armless guy lifting weights. I can't really tell. But anyway, because it's heavy weights, I take it that you're actually working out. But anyway, buddy, keep on doing the hard work. All the best for the Paralympics. We're going to be watching you, following everything that you do. And make sure that when this video comes out as well, you share it on your social media so that we can grow the channel as big as we can. Anyway, thank you, Kevin. Hey, everyone. Yeah, you see, this is what happens when you don't have hands. Kevin just did like 2 fingers on the one side and then nothing appeared on the, you see. I don't even know what to call that, but thank you for lifting up a 3. I'll give you a 2 on my side. Thank you for your time. And yeah, everyone, this has been Vanquish on the SASAPD channel. My name is Samkelo Radebe, and we just had a good one with Kerwin Noemdo. We'll see you at the next episode here, Vanquish. Thank you so much for watching.